the balance between chaos and order. In 1927, when Niels Bohr and Albert Einstein had their famous quarrel about physics, the nature of our reality, Albert Einstein famously uttered, "I like to believe the moon is there when I'm not looking." It took approximately 40 years to prove that the moon was indeed not there when Einstein was not looking. And that proved quantum mechanics and Niels Bohr's arguments to be correct. Does that mean that we should go completely chaos on the world and everything should be governed by quantum mechanics and chaos? No. Because without Einstein's equations, we would have no satellites. We would have no GPS systems, we would have no lunar landings, and so on and so on. However, without Niels Bohr's equations of quantum mechanics, we would also have no satellites, we would have no GPS systems, and we would have no lunar landings. They were both equally important. And Einstein was famous because he believed in a mechanical universe. He perceived the universe as a big Swiss watch made by some super intelligent, sentient god thingy majingy. While Niels Bohr believed that the universe was pure chaos. And in one of their arguments, Einstein said, "God does not play with dice." And Niels Bohr immediately answered Einstein and said, "Who are you to tell God what to do?" And that is the paradox of reality. You see, God really does play with dice every now and then. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe he likes to be surprised. Who knows? But facts of our reality and our universe is that God does play with dice. He likes taking chances and risks and dive into chaos. That's just one of the facts about our reality and our physical world. And everything works the same way. Societies, laws, and so on and so on. A famous Zen saying about a Zen Buddhist monk goes like this: "The barn burnt down. Now I can see the moon." And what that means is that from the chaos of having your barn burned to the ground, something nice arises. Because you are able to see the moon, which is a beautiful view. Now, I like to think about that as the golden line in between chaos and logic. If you are too logical minded, then you'd say, "Ooh, the barn burnt down. Boo, I have no barn, I have no barn." Because you only see the problems. If you are too chaos minded, you will say, "Ah, hooray, the barn burnt down. Now I can see the moon. Let's burn the neighbors' barns too, then we can see it even more." And none of those views are very fruitful, you might say. I happen to believe in the Zen Buddhist monk that says, "The barn burnt down, now I can see the moon." And then maybe have my cattle in my neighbor's barn for some time until I get to rebuild my own barn. You see, by trusting too much in logic, by believing that logic is the means to all ends or something, you commit the only sin that really exists, which is the sin of believing that you are God. Because you think that you can logically analyze yourself out of every single problem that could possibly arrive using your brain. Now, as Niels Bohr explicitly taught us almost a century ago, that belief is heresy, according to modern quantum mechanics and physics. That point of view is blasphemy. And therefore we must allow for a little bit of chaos in the world. Because unless we do, we believe we are God. And we believe that we can logically deduct the solution to every single problem that could possibly arise. And by doing so, we create, to use the biblical analogy, we create a throne in the stars above God, believing we are gods and that we have the right to judge others based upon logic. But you see, you don't understand the difference between right and wrong using your brain. It's impossible. It's like having a computer define the difference between right and wrong. Well, if a computer were to define the difference between right and wrong, then we would all receive capital punishments. Period. Where you know the difference between right and wrong is not in your brain, but it is in your heart. And until our legal systems and our governmental practices and our politicians and lawgivers and judges and police officers realize that simple fact, there will be no paradise, or whatever you wish to call it.